Hello YouTube and welcome back. So this is in continuation with the previous video where we saw overview of the jugaad-data. We saw how to install it, how to download data from NSE's website using the jugaad-data command line interface. And I would highly recommend you to watch that video first so that you get a good context about it. So in this particular video, uh, we will actually do all those things from Python code, basically. So first we will download bhavcopy using Python script for stock, index, and derivative. The output will be in CSV format. Then we will also see how to download historical data for all three types of instruments, that is stock, index, and derivatives. So there are multiple output options available. You can download data in pandas data frame or as a CSV file or as a raw JSON file. But for this particular video, we'll just focus on pandas data frame because that's how most of the people will be using the output. But for other more detailed documentation and other details on how to download it in CSV or raw, how do we get raw data from NSC's website, you can refer to this detailed documentation, and then you can follow the this API reference. Basically, I'll include the link to this particular notebook somewhere in the description or somewhere on the video itself. So let's get started. So this assumes that you've already installed jugaad-data. First thing we need to do is import this NSE module. It holds all the functions that are there to download NSE's data. And then the only other Python function that we need is date, because we need to kind of mostly deal with time frames and dates. So that's the reason. So once we do that, then so this command, you don't need it actually. It's just to show that I have created a folder named data. So all the bhav copies that we will be downloading, will download it in the in this folder, right? So now let's first see how can we download bhav copies. So there are basically 4 different functions which are used to download bhav copies for 3 different segments. So for equity segment, there are 2 functions. So this particular function, what it does is the classical usual bhav copy that we are all used to. So in the last video, we also saw how it looks. I'm not going to open it again, but basically it's the same bhav copy that you can download it using this command. The next one, full bhav copy, is so you will get additional columns like percentage delivery. So basically the daily volumes that you get, it has 2 components. One is delivery and other is the margin traded volume. So it will give you the breakup of those 2. So that's full bhav copy. And then this is bhav copy for futures and options segment. And then this function index save, this downloads bhav copy for the index data. So once you actually run these scripts, you will see that you're getting these files basically here corresponding to, this is corresponding to the first one. Then you have futures and options file, then you have index file, then you have the full bhavcopy. So just the format of the function is common across all the four. So first parameter is the date for which you want to download the bhavcopy. The second parameter just is the folder where you want to dump it. So for as we are dumping it in the data folder that we discussed earlier, so that's why I have given this as data. You can provide anything like, if you're on Linux, you can provide home and then whatever data directory. You have to create that directory though, but it's up to you. You can provide full path, whatever, right? So so that's about it. Now let's move on to the like, let's move and see how do we download individual um, instrument data. So first we will see how do we download data from equity segment. So all the common stocks that you see, you can download the historical data using this stock_df command or function basically. So first parameter is the symbol, stock symbol. It can be SBI, Reliance, you name it, basically. Then second and third parameter is like the from date and then to date. So this is how you provide the date range, and you get the output in pandas data frame. One thing to note here is when you install jugaad-data using pip, it will not install pandas. And if you do, and you will have to install pandas separately using something like pip install pandas, because if you don't install that, then you will get a error here that it could not find pandas, something like that. So just a side note there. Once you download that, this is how the data looks. So you have, so it has many columns, but I have just chosen date, open, high, low, close, and the volume. But just to show you what other things are there, you can just do stock_. So you have series, then you have previous close, uh, volume weighted average price, number of trades, and symbol. So all those things you will get. So next one is how do we download index data? So here, the signature is same. So the function is index_df. You need to provide the symbol first. So Nifty 50 is the index that we want to download. Then the date range basically. So we are downloading data from Jan to June basically. Just one thing to note here. So what I'm trying to say is you will have to use the same date, same name that is displayed here, historical data, right? So whatever you see here, that same name that you have to use here. Otherwise, it will not download any data for you. And And again, we'll just, for you, we'll just see what are the other columns. So in this particular case, it doesn't actually give you a lot of columns. It's the bare bones. Right, now coming to the a bit complex part, how do we download derivatives data? So the command or the function here is derivatives underscore df. Again, the first three parameters are kind of common across all the functions. First, you provide the symbol, then you provide the from date, to date, and after that, for derivatives, it kind of branches out. So now you have four types of instruments. First you have stock futures, stock options, index futures, index options. So right now we are downloading data for stock futures. So for futures, you have to provide two extra parameters. First is the expiry date, right? So so we are downloading data for August. The August expiry for futures was on 27th. So we are downloading data from the start of the month till the expiry date. And then you also have to specify here that we want to download futures, stock futures data, right? So this is the basic kind of structure. And once you do that, you get this data. Okay, just one thing I would like to point out here is in the new website, the data you get is in descending order of date, basically. So first data point will be the last of the last date, and then so basically you start from 30th June and you end on the 1st of Jan. And this is the same pattern that you'll see across all the segments and instruments, all those things. So this is the futures data, usual stuff. You have date, expiry, your OHLC, last traded price, what is the market lot. So there is a bit of difference in terms of how it used to show, give you the data on the old website versus this website. So here, I think in the previous website, you used to get total traded quantity as the multiplication of market lot and the lot size and the number of lots traded. So basically basically number of shares traded. But I think in this case, it's two things are separate. So you have market lot value separately and the number of lots traded separately. So you might get a bit of difference in from old website and the new website. So just wanted to tell you that. So this is futures for stock. Then we come to the options data. Again, so the function is same, derivatives underscore df. The first three parameters are same. You have symbol, then you have from data, then you have to data. Again, we are downloading for the same period, that is from 1st of August to 27th of August, that is the expiry date. Here the instrument is Nifty, it's an index. And we are downloading, because we are downloading a call option data basically. So instrument type is index option, so OPTIDX, right? So then you have option type as CE and strike price as 11,000. And this is the data that you get finally. And so strike price you get in this column, and then so this is basically the premium price, total traded quantity, market lot, open interest, all those usual columns that you're all already familiar with. Now you can I'm not covering the other two combinations. So there is stock options and index futures. You can try that out. If you face any problem or you're stuck anywhere, you can just post it in comments here or log issue in GitHub. So I think that's what I wanted to cover in this video. In the next video, maybe I'll cover one example of how, what do you do after you download the data? Maybe one example of some analysis, and then that will cover the whole jugaad data series.